Hey there, I got a question for you. What do you think this documentary is going to be about? What are your expectations? And what are your thoughts on weed? Are you for it or against it? Am I smoking this for fun? Am I cheating the system to get high? Am I using other people's ailments for a bit of forbidden fun? Well, you'd be wrong on 3 counts. This is none of that. This is Prescription Pot, the journey for pain relief.
Hey there, I'm Adam Colgan, and I'm a film minor out at Western Illinois University. And no, this documentary is not a how-to video on getting medical marijuana legally or how to cheat the system. No, this journey is a lot more personal than that. This is a journey for my own pain relief. I've been living every step of my life for the past 5 years in pain. And this journey started off back January 22nd, 2011. When I was snowboarding for the first time and fell on my ass, which is totally normal and completely fine, except it gave me arthritis.
Little fall, got a bruise on his hip. He ate it pretty good. About a week, maybe 2 weeks after that, he had a rash on his stomach and on his cheeks. He was really red and warm, and gave him Tylenol, didn't think anything of it. It cleared up in a couple days. It was a low-grade fever. I'm like, kids get sick. It's not a big deal. Did I take him to the doctor? No. Would they have done anything? No, because what he had was what they call Fifth's disease, or human parvovirus 19. We didn't realize it at the time. We did after the rheumatologist in Chicago did testing, and he came back that indeed he had been exposed to and had that disease. And I think it's 0.5%, half a 1%, something ridiculous of kids that get this Fifth's disease. It can go into arthritis. And like Adam said, I can't win the lottery, but I get this. Go figure.
I'm one of a very, very unlucky group of people that get arthritis at a very young age. And arthritis is basically where the body just starts attacking its own joints. And so it's something that's never going to stop, and it's something that's never going to leave me.
He actually had steroid shots in his hip. It didn't work. It didn't work at all. And I can't imagine how excruciatingly painful that was. And all Adam was saying, I just want to be out of pain. That's all I've heard from Adam since he was 13, is I just want to be out of pain.
When it comes to medications, I've tried nearly a dozen different medications, and while I'm not going to name all of them, this one drug left me with some pretty nasty side effects. Like, I couldn't have more than 2 alcoholic beverages in a month, otherwise my liver would eat itself and I would die. I couldn't have children because they would be at risk for severe birth defects. And it increased my risk for cancer. The drug I'm on right now, which I'm going to blur and beep the name out because I don't want the company getting mad at me, is and it's really good at what it does, which is keeping inflammation down and making sure my body is good and it doesn't spread. But it has some pretty bad side effects. Like, for example, it costs $30,000 a year, which is astronomically ridiculous for this thing. It's an injection that changes how my body functions, so I can't donate blood, which I would really love to do because donating blood is something I've always looked forward to doing. It increases my risk for cancer, so I have to get cancer screenings. Now it's every year, but it used to be every 3 months. And it weakens my immune system, so I'm less likely to fight off other infections when they arrive. So flu season hits me pretty hard, and I'm not a big fan of that.
And when the realization hit me that this medicine costs more than I'm bringing home in a month. This medicine costs more than I bring home in a month. I just broke down in tears, and I was bawling on the phone because it's your child. You can't stand to see him in pain. You want him to walk. You want him to be as normal as they can. This is this one golden medication that helps him, and it's out of reach.
Took a huge toll out of me emotionally. I distanced myself from my friends and my family in a way that I never expected to. It took me a long time to realize how to work with arthritis and how to overcome its emotional blockage that it's left me with.
You were always in pain, and I always felt bad, and you'd go to like family functions of mine, like my birthday parties and stuff, and my aunt would be like, he just looks like he's in pain, sweetie, and just, it would break my heart because I knew you were in pain. You'd limp everywhere, you couldn't walk, and that just messes you up even more. Like, to not be able to do things you want to do. I know what that's like. So it was sad. It broke my heart too.
I've had some pretty horrible stories from my arthritis pain. I'm a wedding DJ, and I got home after 12 hours of being up and active on my hip. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I rolled into the driveway. And while I was sitting down in my car, I was fine. I knew my hip was hurting pretty bad, but it was fine. I got out of my car to try and walk inside, and I couldn't put any weight on my right leg. I just immediately collapsed to the ground and knew that I couldn't just sleep in the car. I had to get inside. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, in the worst pain I have ever felt in my life, I dragged my basically half-lifeless body inside, up the stairs, and into bed, where I proceeded to cry for a good 5 or 6 hours before I could actually fall asleep. That moment really got to me on an emotional level that I've never been tormented before. And that was really a defining moment where I said, I need to get pain relief. I cannot live my life like this. I am 19 years old. I should not be in that much pain at 19. And I was scared. I was scared because if this is how much pain I'm in now, and arthritis, the only thing it will do is either stay the same or get worse, what is my life going to be like in 40 years? I need the pain relief. I cannot live like this for the rest of my life in this much pain. I needed to change my life, and so I went and saw my physician. One of the fundamental requirements for medical cannabis is a recommendation from your physician, and while he will not go on camera for professional reasons, I can relay what he said. And so I went in there, and I was like, hey, Dr. Awesome, since I can't say his name. I was like, Dr. Awesome, can we talk about something serious here? And he's like, yeah, sure, what do you want? And I was like, hey, medical cannabis might be something that can help with the pain and the inflammation in my hip. I'm like, what are your thoughts on this? Is this something you'd recommend? And he said, yeah, absolutely. Just that. He said, yeah, absolutely. And that surprised me. And I was like, oh, wait, what? He's like, yeah, I absolutely think this is going to be something that'll help you. It can help the pain, it can help the inflammation, and it can help get you back to a regular life. It's like, I'll be more than happy to write the recommendation. That was one of the happiest moments of my life, is walking out of that office knowing that my doctor agrees and thinks that this can help me. I remember that day going home, telling my mom, hugging her, and just bawling, because finally my doctor was able to do something for my pain. And so thus started the process of getting my medical cannabis card. I went through countless pages of paperwork. I went through a background check, fingerprinting. I worked with Eric from Medical Cannabis Outreach, and they are amazing people, and they know what they're talking about when it comes to the Illinois Medical Cannabis Pilot Program. So I'm going to leave it up to him to talk more about what it takes to get your medical cannabis card.
You must have a qualifying condition. You must have a doctor's recommendation. Then you must have a fingerprint. You have to have a passport picture for your ID. You have to have proof of residency. You have to have your ID. For the patient, there's a $100 cost to the state application, and then the fingerprints anywhere from $55 to $65, all depending on the area that you go to. You then submit your application. We submit it for you. We make sure everything's right. When you send in your ID, it has to be colored. If it's black and white, you'll get a deficiency. After that, we cross our T's and dot our I's. And then after that, we cross our T's and dot our I's, because we want to make sure that they're going to get approved. Because I don't want to waste my time nor the patient's money to get on the program that, unless it's beneficial for them.
I just got a letter from the Illinois Department of Public Health in green. Green for pot. Green means go, so I'm hoping it's yes. Illinois Department of Public Health. Complete the following information. That, my friends, is a yes. So, medical cannabis dispensary selection. I have been accepted. Dear registered qualifying patient, your card will be mailed to you soon.
Enclosed is your medical cannabis registry card for the Illinois Medical Cannabis Pilot Program. That's me. It's not the best picture in the world, but that's me.
I'm going to call and give that fancy number that you can't see because I'm going to blur that out. Anyway, I'm going to call and give that fancy number to the dispensary and see if I'm in the system. And if so, maybe I'm going to go buy some pot today.
Hey, Adam.
I just got my card in the mail and wanted to see if I was in the system.
Yep, I got you in here. You're good to go.
Awesome, I'm so excited. I'll probably be in an hour or so.
Sounds good. We'll see you in a bit.
Awesome, thank you much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna wake my mother up. Thank you. So, there's my card.
It's official.
It's official. I called and they already have me in the system, so I can go buy now. That was real fun. We're good to go. How has it been since I got my card and since those initial thoughts? It has been absolutely amazing. Where before the medical cannabis card, I couldn't walk a single mile without excruciating pain. I was at Lollapalooza the end of July, and I walked 9 miles each day at Lollapalooza. All thanks to medical cannabis. However, find the strain that works for you. I have tried 24 or so different strains, and I have my favorite daytime strains, my favorite nighttime strains. Now, is it the healthiest thing in the world to be smoking weed every day? Not necessarily. And if I balance it between smoking the flower and edibles, I really shouldn't do too much damage to my lungs. And I'm really a guinea pig for this, starting so young and continuing with a very constant use all the way up until I die, hopefully. We know about the benefits of marijuana, however, we don't know the full extent of them because it is listed as a Schedule I drug with no medical use or purpose. We do know how it affects the lungs, and I'm going to bring in somebody who knows a little bit more about the lungs.
My name is Shelley Colgan. I am a registered respiratory therapist, a registered polysomnographic technologist. I've been a respiratory therapist since 1988. A little embarrassing there. And I've been in sleep studies since 2011.
People say that the cancer-fighting compounds in marijuana counteract the cancer-causing properties of smoking it. Have you found this to be true?
I haven't found it to be false, and I haven't found it to be true either. I think that the benefits of smoking medical marijuana right now, in the instances it's approved for, outweigh this very small risk that is there. Obviously, anything that you smoke and you take into your body, especially your lungs, because your lungs are very delicate organs, can cause some damage. However, smoking the marijuana can cause bronchitis, especially if you're susceptible to it, where you have an underlying lung disease such as asthma or what we call reactive airway disease. And not really all that much more linked to what we call COPD or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. You're inhaling a smoke into your lungs. It can cause damage. It doesn't seem to be any worse than cigarette smoking for sure. We used to laugh because we could always tell the marijuana smokers because they were a little bit higher on the carbon monoxide levels because they tend to hold that smoke in. That was about the biggest difference I've seen. I have not seen people who only smoke marijuana have a lot of lung problems. Now, if they smoke marijuana and they're regular cigarette smokers, then yeah, I've seen more of the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. It's one of those things with medical marijuana that I'm finding out with people that are on it is know your body and know what works for you. If smoking a blunt makes you cough your head off, find another way.
Now we know about the health risks, but why is pot so helpful? Among other ingredients, THC and CBD are the biggest factors when it comes to health benefits, and those are the two chemicals people actively seek out when purchasing marijuana.
THC versus CBD. Now, it's a question that's plagued a lot of people for a long time. Which one's better for you? Well, it's a good question you've got there. THC is responsible for the high you feel, whereas CBD, it works to bring down that high feeling. THC is also the psychoactive ingredient, where CBD is the antipsychotic. THC is responsible for sleep. CBD actually keeps you awake and alert and energized and focused. CBD is actually legal to have, whereas THC is not. And CBD is actually better for kids and it helps with their seizures. So why do we smoke pot? That's a simple-ish question. THCA is not nearly as active and doesn't have nearly the health benefits that THC does. So how do we turn THCA into THC? We burn it with heat. But too much heat will actually turn the THC into vapor. It'll boil off at temperatures greater than 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So how do we get the most THC out of your weed? Well, with food, of course. By keeping it under 300 degrees Fahrenheit, you convert the most THCA into THC without boiling it off. So in conclusion, this has been an amazing journey. My life has gotten so much better. I am so much happier. I'm able to do so much more in my life, and I feel like I've had a massive burden just lifted off my shoulders and vanish literally overnight. And looking back on the footage from when I first started this journey, I started tearing up because those emotions, that pain, that anger, and that anguish that I have felt when I was shooting that very first video has literally just disappeared. All of that worry and all of those horrible thoughts are gone. I don't have them anymore because I'm more free to be myself, and that really is just the greatest feeling in the world. I could not thank the state of Illinois enough for instituting the medical cannabis pilot program, and so I leave you with these final thoughts. If it helps, if I'm not hurting anybody, if I'm not getting hurt, what does it really matter?
How was the documentary? Do you still hold the same thoughts about marijuana? Well, maybe yes, but maybe no. This documentary is not here to sway you. This documentary is here to inform and to inspire. I want to inspire a discussion in people. A discussion that just doesn't end here with this movie, with me, with this country. No, I want to start a worldwide discussion on medical marijuana. So go out there, get informed, and have educated discussion about medical cannabis and see if it really can help as many people as I think it can.